So a question I hear often is how do I get better at League of Legends? There are a number of guides here on YouTube that are here to help, and some of my points might be similar, but hear me out. Number 5. Wards. Every time you ask someone how to get better at League of Legends, they'll always tell you the ward. Wards cost only 75 gold, and they last for 3 minutes. They are a crucial part of League of Legends, and they can bring a team from 0 to hero. How often have you guys been in a game where your top lane starts to complain about being camped? When the enemy jungler manages to secure a kill in your lane, they usually know a second kill is possible, and this is why warding in lane is so important. Objectives can be controlled by simple ward placement. When placing a ward, you want to try and get as much vision from as many areas as possible. In some circumstances, this isn't possible. An example of this is when the enemy team is taking Dragon and you're unable to ward the river without being caught. Games can be lost by one simple ward, and clearing wards is just as important as placing them down. When playing a role like support, you want to get as many wards as possible, and once you have a side stone, it's crucial to take a sweeper. Knowing where to place wards is something you can't teach. Usually, wards are very situational. This means that if you're pushed, having wards in your own jungle can be a lot less effective. Remember, a ward is never wasted. Number 4. Know your enemy and know your friends. Sun Tzu said, know your enemy and know yourself, and you can fight 100 battles without disaster. Knowing your enemy is more simple than it sounds. With websites such as LolKing or LolNexus, you can very quickly find out some very general knowledge of your opponent. LolNexus tells you who on your enemy team, if any, is pre-made, and it also tells you their tier. Knowing if your enemy is pre-made is important. A team with more communication is more likely to succeed. I usually see players taking roles such as mid lane or jungle with a pre-made friend. When in mid, you're likely to get ganked a lot if your opponent is pre-made with the jungler. The same applies for other lanes too. Sometimes, players are forced into roles. With little experience in that role, these players can easily be bullied in the laning phase. To find this out, you can go on LolKing. LolKing is a simple to use search engine for League of Legends. By typing in a player's name, you can see what champions they played this season. With this knowledge, it's easier to understand by their champion pool which role they play. When playing a support, it's important to understand how your AD carry wants to play. Not everyone wants to fight. Some people just want to farm, and that's understandable. As a support main, I'm very aggressive, and this means that sometimes in solo queue, I get passive AD carries. Not knowing how your AD carry is going to play can be painful, and when you're playing champions like Leona, your ADC needs to follow in. If they're too scared, you're dead. I see this happen all too often. Number 3. Admit your failure. We all have bad days, and we all make mistakes. It's normal. I don't know a single League of Legends player that hasn't made a mistake, no matter how good they are. If you're unable to admit your mistakes, you cannot expect others to forgive them. Be honest and sincere to yourself. There's no shame in that. In games like Leagues of Legends, there's a lot to take in, and mistakes happen more often than you might presume. You need to know what you're going to do wrong to improve your own game. Getting annoyed at yourself does you no good. Yelling and blaming others for your mistakes is only going to be counterproductive. No jungler wants to gank a top laner who will scream every time he ganks. He's a person too, you know. Number 2. Smartcasting. I strongly suggest that you enable smartcasting if you haven't done so already. For months, my friends tried to convince me to smartcast, but I always ignored them. I regretted it. Once I started smartcasting, I never wanted to go back, and playing in the Rift is a much smoother experience. You are able to make plays much quicker, and with much more efficiency. An example of this is when I used to play Thresh. Throwing my hooks was a slow experience in comparison to what I experience now. Milliseconds are vital in League of Legends, and one split moment can be the difference between a kill and a death. I personally found that some abilities like Thresh's Flay and Alistar's combo were hard to do while smartcasting. So to counter this, I bound normal casting to Shift plus Q, W, E, and R. Patience is key here. You're not going to make diamond plays the first time you smartcast, and you're bound to make a few mistakes, but keep at it. You won't regret it. Number 1. Play the game. I know it might sound stupid, but you won't get better at the game if you don't play. League of Legends is a MOBA, and it's unlike a lot of games out there on the market. This isn't the Call of Duty series that you've been playing for the past god knows how many years. The only way you're going to get better is to play. A lot of new players come into League of Legends and expect to become gods. I know from personal experience how severely frustrating it can be when you first play the game. We were all there at one point. Muscle memory is a key factor in any game, and League of Legends is no different. Knowing the exact damage your champion will do and when your cooldowns are ready will greatly improve your play. I want to thank you guys for watching the video. If this helped you at all, I would really appreciate your support by leaving a comment, like, and subscribe to my channel. Peace out guys, and more videos coming soon.